Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maddie and welcome to my world. For today's video, I decided in the middle of the night that I was going to do this because I can't sleep. But for today's video, it is going to be all of my hair eras. If you guys haven't been around for a good minute, or maybe you've just seen a couple of my videos, I dye my hair a lot. I have dyed my hair so many times. The moment I was able to dye my hair, I don't think I stopped since then. There were periods of time where like I dyed my hair like black or brown, and then I left that and it eventually turned to my natural, and then, you know, from there then I re-dyed it eventually again down the road. But for the most part, I will say ever since I started dyeing my hair, it's been a journey. So I found a whole bunch of pictures and I'm gonna be putting them on the screen when I'm talking about them. So I'm gonna try and go in order from the first time I dyed my hair all the way until now. So the first time I ever dyed my hair was 2016. And the most recent is 2025. If you guys watched my last video, I literally just dyed my hair not that long ago, and right now it is green and blue. So without further ado, let's get into all my hair eras. Starting off strong in 2016, my dad did not want me to dye my hair. My mom, however, didn't really care, and I saw some girls in school and on YouTube dyeing their hair with Kool-Aid. So I convinced my dad to let me dye my hair with Kool-Aid, and this picture that you're seeing now is what that was. There was red in the bottom of my hair from the Kool-Aid, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure I did do other colors, but I have no pictures of it. If my mom finds any pictures, I will definitely put them here, but I'm pretty sure like I did a blue once or a purple once, but I don't have any pictures of that. Then next, my dad did let me finally dye my hair, and I bleached my ends and I did a purple color. The purple was like a lighter purple, and I don't have a picture of that unfortunately when it was first done. So honestly, the picture that I have, unless my mom finds a different one, is when it was a bit more faded. But I did my ends, and I honestly, I don't even remember how long I kept that, but I know I had that for a bit until 2018. 2018 was the first time I ever dyed my whole entire head. Originally, I went into the salon not going to dye my whole head, but I don't know how, but my mom and my hairdresser, which was a friend of my mom and my dad, convinced my dad to let me dye my whole head. So here is a picture of that. I know this is not the most flattering pictures, and please be aware, guys, that some of these photos probably aren't going to be flattering. I am 20 now, going to be turning 21, and in 2018 I was in middle school, okay? But yeah, so I did my whole head. It was blue and purple, and then eventually that faded, and it kind of was like, I don't know, it was kind of gross, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really like how it looked when it was faded, and I eventually got a haircut, and just dyed my hair brown. So that's what I did after that. And I didn't dye my hair again. So when we dyed my hair brown, that was like July of 2018. In December of 2018, I did my whole head again. My hair was a bit longer now because time passed. And I decided to just do a light blue. I just did my whole head a light blue right before Christmas, until eventually in February 2019 doing a dark blue. And I had the dark blue for a while until it faded, and it faded to like a gray. I'm pretty sure I have a picture of that, so I will put that here. But yeah, it just faded to like a gray, and I just had that for a while until I decided that I wanted to do a like dark reddish color in March of 2019, and I had that for a while because in June 2019 I still had the red until July. I cut my hair off, and so it was kind of just brown. I think a little bit of it was still the red. But so July, I had this short brown hair, which eventually ended up being pink. And then from pink, so pink was August of 2019. Then in September of 2019, I dyed my hair half blue and half red. And the reason I accidentally did that is because I got blue black instead of black. So I ended up half red and half black, which was an accident, and honestly that didn't really last that long. In the picture it kind of looks black, but it was not in fact black. Then I went to like a teal, kind of like this blue, and a purple, and that was like half and half. You're gonna see I've had many half and half hair eras throughout this time. Then in February of 2020 I decided to just dye my hair all brown, and then I eventually ended up doing like 2 strips of my hair pink because I got really tired of just being like, I don't know, I just love expressing myself through my hair, and I just would get really tired easily when my natural hair would be about. So yeah, I did the pink strips, and then I ended up doing like a bluish green strip, and then I ended up, just want to check with the facts here, I ended up doing like a dark color, which is kind of like a black, and then eventually faded to my brown. And then I didn't dye my hair again until that summer, and I did like the trend at the time where like you dye your money pieces and dye your underneath. So I did that, and I was keeping the blonde with that. So I had like my brown natural hair with blonde, and then I eventually dyed all of the blonde to a pink. I've had pink a lot, I'm gonna be so real. And that was September 3rd of 2020. Had that beautiful color. Then in October of 2020, I went back to my half and half era. So I had half black and half orange because I love doing that for Halloween. And then for December, I kept the half black, but I did half red. And then I also was half pink and then half blue purple. I'm not really sure like where in the timeline that was. I think it was just from December to like January. And then in February, I tried to dye one of my halves blonde, and I never bleached my hair before, and that failed. So I had to get a haircut because the ends of my hair were not good. So I was half black and half blonde for a bit until I was like, you know what? I just need some color. So I threw some pink in there. I'm going to be real with you. I have basically done almost every color. So you will see a lot of repeating colors, as you I'm sure have already seen from this already. Then after the pink, I did the pink like in April of 2021. And then later in April, I decided I'm going to bleach my whole head, and I want it to be green. And I want it to be darker green, but that didn't happen. So I was this ugly, I don't know who let me walk around like this. Weird neon green. Worst hair color I've ever done. Nothing will ever top that. That is the worst hair era I've ever had in my life. I don't know who let me walk around like that, because no. If I saw someone walking like that and it looked as bad as mine did, I might have to say something. Could not keep that because I was graduating coming June. So I eventually decided to do a black and red dye. So I had my black and red hair because I wanted it for graduation and I wanted to look nice. And then I eventually, in August of 2021, went to a blue, like this blue. And I kept that for a bit, and it kind of faded to like this. Like you can see my roots, and there was all of the blue like in the ends. And we went on summer vacation, and when we came back, I decided I need to change everything. I need to change everything. I need to get a whole new haircut that I've never had in my whole entire life. So this is what I ended up looking like. I found a random person on TikTok, and I was like, I want that haircut, and that is what happened. Can you guys tell I have issues? Because I can clearly tell. But yeah, so I was that for a while, and I didn't hate the blue in my natural, but I wanted to kind of change it up. So I did the top black, and then I did the bottom Halloween colors because it was getting close to Halloween. So I did like a purple and orange, and it kind of faded weird. I don't really know why. So then in November, I eventually dyed the ends a dark blue. And I was the dark blue for a bit, and then I ended up changing the dark blue to orange. And then I'm gonna be real with you guys. In December of 2021, I got COVID, and I was locked in my room, and it was a not good time. So while I was locked away, I decided to bleach my hair. So I took out the blue and bleached a lot of my hair. I bleached like my bangs and then the 2 long pieces, and I was blonde for a little bit, and then I eventually went pink again. I honestly feel like one of my favorite colors to do is like a magenta pink, because I've had magenta pink a lot and I always am in love with it. And then from the magenta pink, I went to a red. Now I'm gonna be real, this is my cosmetology era from November 2021 to July of 2022. I definitely changed my hair a lot because I go through a lot of different haircuts, hair colors. I don't know, I was just, cosmetology school wasn't fun for me. I was already going through it mentally, but I'm in cosmetology school. So I would just let people do whatever they wanted. So I went to the red, and the red faded, and then I eventually had to cut all my hair off because I wanted to go green. Every time I go green, something goes wrong. So I was honestly scared to do this. But I went green, and my mom bleached my ends, and we used too high of a developer. We used 30, and all my ends fried off. I'm pretty sure I have a picture. I am gonna put that if I have the picture. So yeah, I ended up having to cut all my hair off. Super short. The shortest I had my hair ever in my life. Cut it all off, and I stayed like, one side was like black and then the other side was like kind of green, because like yeah, anyways, then the green I eventually turned into like a purple, and I did the purple all over my head, but you could only really see it kind of on one side. And then my boyfriend, my current boyfriend, his prom was coming up in June of 2022. So some of my cosmetology friends at the time did my hair for me, and I was all pink, and they kind of cut it like Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, because I wanted them to. And so I kind of had like a Ramona Flowers. It wasn't like exact because my hair wasn't really long enough to have like the 2 long pieces. But so I had that for a while, and then I eventually had my friend dye my roots, and I had orange and pink hair, and I did like orange bangs, pink everywhere else, and that was like my graduation of cosmetology school. So I got my hair done there, and then didn't really get my hair done professionally again for a while. But yeah, so I was pink and orange for a while until eventually October of 2022 or September of 2022, can't remember which month, I dyed my hair half black. So the orange was orange and then half black, and I stuck with that for a bit. And then later in October, so that had to be September, because then later in October I dyed my hair half blue, half black, and I was that for a while until I went to a professional. And originally I honestly did want green again, because I felt like every time I tried to do green myself, it didn't work. So let me try and go to professional, do what I'm supposed to do, and get professional done. But she was like, girl, if I do green, you will be bald. So I was like, okay. So she decided it was like a pinkish blue, and I had that for a while, and it was really good. She also gave me like a new haircut because I definitely needed it after she lightened my hair. And I was that purple, and it just faded with time until I got tired. And so in January of 2023, I was like, okay, time for something new. And I tried to bleach my hair. I had my boyfriend's friend help me. And I don't know how many good pictures I have of this because it did not last long. But I was like, oh my god, maybe I'll be blonde. I have never liked being blonde, so I don't know why I would decide this is what I want to do. But so I bleached like the front parts of my hair at first, and then I eventually did my whole head. But I was like, I don't like this. So I went back to pink. And then I was pink for a while, and then I got tired of that. So in February of 2023, I decided to just put box dye over my hair. No. It wasn't bad, but I didn't really like the color. It was like a greenish blue, purple. I don't really know what that was. And then in March, I decided to get like Arctic Fox blue and put that over my hair. And I had that for a while, and then once it faded, I kind of switched to like a different shade of blue, like more of a lighter blue. But I had blue for a while, and I just kept the blue. I just kept kind of like changing the shade slightly until June of 2023, and then I went forest green. And that was the first time in my life that forest green and I were friends. First time in my life. But I will say, eventually, I kind of got tired of the forest green. So in July, I went orange. And I was orange until August of 2023. And I decided that I wanted to kind of do like, you know that trend where people do like the peanut butter and jelly hair where it's like brown, red, and blonde? I tried to do that, and it semi-worked, but the problem was that when I like originally washed out my hair, even though I used cold water, the red faded into the blonde, so it was kind of like pink in some parts. I'm showing you two different photos here so that you can kind of see the blonde, because in the first photo you cannot see blonde at all. But so it was blonde, brown, and red, and I was that for a while. And then the blonde, I just wasn't liking it anymore, so I took the blonde pieces and made them orange. So now my hair in like September was orange, red, and brown. And then, I'm gonna be real, I went to the mental hospital. So I just let my hair fade out there because I can't dye my hair there anyway. So when I came back in October of 2023 toward the end, my hair was all faded. So it was mostly blonde, and I was actually really surprised. I don't know, like it was brown and blonde, but I'm surprised that red faded. Then in November, I decided to go dark red in the front and then pink for the rest of my hair. And I was that for a while until in December I wanted to be half and half again. So I had half my hair black, and then the other half was like a mix of like pink, blonde, and red. And then I was like, you know what, I want to be half and half, but I want to be half blonde, half black. And so I tried to get the pinkish side out, but it ended up turning like a purple, and I could not get that purple to go, so I just dyed that side purple. And that purple faded to a blue. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, might as well try green again. So I tried to dye my half green, and it just didn't look the best. So then I tried to take my brown side and make that green too, and we were having a not good green era again. And that green faded to blue. And then I was blue on both sides until I eventually decided in like end of April to go purple. And I was purple for a bit. I was purple, and it kind of would always fade to like this pink purple, and I was fine with that. But I was purple from April of 2024 all the way until August of 2024. And in August of 2024, I went back to orange because spooky season was coming up, and I was like, ooh, I want to be orange. So I went to orange, and I was orange from, honestly, I think I went orange in July, at the end of July. So at the end of July all the way until November, I was orange. And then I went to a professional, my mom's friend, just so she can dye my roots. And she dyed my roots, and then I was the pink and red. And then from the pink and red, I was then to what I just had, which was the yellow and pink. Yellow at the time was my only really color that I've never done. So I was like, you know what? I've never done yellow. What goes with yellow? I think a pink would go with yellow. And I ended up doing the pink. And here we are now, guys. I am this blue and green, and this is a good green and blue era. I will say, when I first started dyeing my hair, I would go to professionals. I would go to my mom's friend who, like, when I said someone did my roots, like in November of this past year, that was my mom's friend. And she would do my hair, and she, like, would do the colors at first. But then my mom and I kind of were like, you know what, let's just do it ourselves. And we would do that ourselves. We would never do really my roots by ourselves, honestly. And throughout time, like, I feel like back then I didn't know as much about dyeing your hair and that you didn't have to use bleach for everything. So I will say that I feel like in the past my hair was definitely not as healthy because I would bleach it a lot. But I kind of always had the impulse that, like, if I want to cut my hair, I would just do it. I wouldn't think about it. I would just be like, you know what, I want short hair, I'm cutting it. I want this haircut, I'm cutting it. And so, like, honestly, it was like, you know, whatever. There were definitely a couple hair eras that were not it. And actually looked bad. Like, really bad. Like that green. But I will say, I don't regret a thing. I love dyeing my hair. Ever since I started dyeing my hair, I feel like I fell in love with it. It really helped me be able to express myself and be who I am. From the first ever Kool-Aid to now, it's great. And a lot of the times now, I don't bleach my hair. I use color removers because color removers are so less damaging. And the color remover that I like, literally, I feel like takes out every single color. So who knows where my next hair era is going to lead me. I have no clue what I'm going to be doing after this. But if you watch to the end of the video, thank you guys so much. If you guys have been here for multiple of these hair eras, thank you guys so much for being here. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!